Welcome to the Top Talent and Immigration Show with your host, Kaushik Ranchod. In this show, we discuss how companies and top talent in America overcome immigration obstacles and help create freedom and prosperity in America.
Kaushik Ranchod here. I'm the founder of Top Talent and Immigration, where I talk with leading researchers, business leaders, and attorneys on how they overcome big challenges in the immigration process and business. And today what we're going to be talking about is consular processing, the difference between non-immigrant and immigrant visas. This episode is brought to you by Ranchod Law Group. Ranchod Law Group's mission is to provide freedom and prosperity for immigrants and help more businesses to connect to top talent. Ranchod Law Group believes that immigrants add tremendous value to the U.S. economy and helps companies facing a shortage of talent to make up that gap and grow thanks to the immigrant talent that contribute to their bottom line. Ranchod Law Group has been in business for nearly 20 years in Northern California and serves clients nationwide as a trusted advisor for employers and helping employers to attract talented immigrant employees. Contact Ranchod Law Group today for details on how the firm can help you to solve your immigration challenges. Visit us at ranchodlaw.com or 916-613-3553. All right, let's jump into our show. Today, what I'm going to be talking about is consular processing, non-immigrant and immigrant visas. So consular processing versus change of status is where you're applying for a visa at the U.S. Embassy or consular post. So first I want to start off with some non-immigrant visas and talk about something called having non-immigrant intent. So there's a couple of types of non-immigrant visas, or B2 visitor visas, that's where you're coming to temporarily visit on visitor visa for typically 6 months. Now that can be confused sometimes with the visa waiver program, where if depending upon what country you're from, you can come in without a visa, and your stay is good for 90 days. But if you enter on the visa waiver program, you're not allowed to change status. Versus if you enter on a visitor visa, you are allowed to change status. And then there's the J1 visa, and if you enter on a J1 visa, you're typically coming here to, if you're a physician, do residency, or you're a trainee, or you're a postdoc researcher. So those are examples of different types of J1 visitor visas, and the same concept of non-immigrant intent applies, where you're supposed to not stay in the United States, you're supposed to return home. And with the J1, you're also, depending upon what kind of J1 you entered on, you may be subject to a 2-year home residency requirement depending upon if you're on the skills list or if you received U.S. government funding or government funding from your home country. And if that's the case, then listen to our episode on J1 waivers because you may be eligible for a J1 waiver. We're not going to talk about that right now, but something to keep a note of. And then there's the F1 visa, where you're coming here to study at a university, doing a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. And then the H-1B visa. Now, the H-1B is not a non-immigrant intent visa. This is what's known as a dual intent visa. So this means that you can have the intent to immigrate to the United States to apply for a green card. So let's go back to the first 3 types, B2, J1, and F1 that I discussed. With those 3, you are only supposed to come in for the purposes of that visa and then return home. So the question becomes, well, how do you demonstrate to the consular officer that you actually do have the non-immigrant intent? And of course, you have to truthfully always communicate what your intent is. And some of the ways that you can communicate and explain your intent is depending upon your unique situation. So, for instance, if you have a job to go back to, you can talk about that. You can talk about also your family members and you have to show evidence of this as well, that are in your home country. Also, what's going to be evaluated is the amount of money that you have to return home, because if you have in your bank account. So if you have more money than not, then you're going to have reason to go back home versus stay in the United States. And when you go to the interview, you want to have, as I mentioned earlier, evidence of all of this. It's not just communicating to the officer, but you also want to have evidence as well of all of this information. Now, the immigrant visa is a bit different. So what is an immigrant visa? That's another word for getting a green card. So immigrant visa is where you're coming into the United States to actually come in and get a green card through marriage, through immediate relative family member, and you're going to the interview to demonstrate that you're not inadmissible and that you're also not going to be a public charge. And I just want to give you some recent current events that are going on at the U.S. Embassy. So some of the things that they're looking for now, depending upon the embassy, is 3 years of tax returns instead of 1 year of tax returns to show that you're not going to be a public charge. This isn't every single embassy. It depends upon the embassy that you're going to, but I want you to be prepared for that. Also, if you have a joint sponsor, they are scrutinizing joint sponsors. So if your joint sponsor is not a family member, then they're asking a lot of questions as to why you're using someone who is not a family member. What's the relationship? Why are they willing to do this? This is all new. We were not seeing this before. And this is all part of the new administration. So something to be aware of when you go in for your interview. And also, what we've also noticed is that the standard for evaluating whether or not you have a bona fide relationship, a real relationship, that standard is being raised depending upon the U.S. Embassy. And it is harder to get an approval depending upon what embassy you go to, and demonstrate that you have a real relationship. So the way to counterbalance or counteract that is, of course, provide as much documentation as possible to demonstrate that you have a real relationship. And some of the things that you can do to demonstrate that is provide evidence of your communications. If you've sent gifts or whatnot, keep track of the receipts. Travel, keep track of the times that you visited each other. All of those factors will help demonstrate that you have a real relationship. And it's unfortunate that a lot of times the officer takes the viewpoint that you don't have a real relationship when you go into the interview. So you want to make sure that you actually give yourself the fair chance and opportunity to demonstrate that yes, you do have a real relationship, and here's the evidence to provide it. So if you have more questions about this, connect with us at ranchodlaw.com or give us a call at 916-613-3553. And until then, we will see you next week. Thank you and have an awesome day.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to click to subscribe, check us out on the web, and we will see you next time.